We need to talk about the ground beneath your feet. Seriously, because what I'm about to lay out for you, it might just change the way you see, well, everything. Yeah, you heard that right. That's not just some poetic, clickbaity line. It's a fundamental claim we're exploring today. The idea is that the forest floor isn't just soil and roots. It's a biological hard drive, and it's running the simulation that you call your life. So, what if every single thought you have, every emotion you feel, is actually an input into this system? And what if mushrooms are more than just fungi? What if they're the key that lets you peek behind the curtain and see the code? You got to stick with me on this, because I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're going to see reality, mushrooms, and yourself in a completely new light. All right, let's dive in. The first and maybe the most crucial idea we need to wrap our heads around is this. Reality isn't some fixed external thing that just happens to you. Nope. The idea is that it's a program that responds to you. Think of it like a mirror, not a movie. Okay, so what does that even mean? Well, think of your inner state, your state of consciousness, as a kind of energetic broadcast. It's the source code. All those dominant thoughts, those recurring feelings you have, they aren't just reactions to the world. They're the cause of the world you experience. It's kind of like the observer effect in quantum physics, right? Where the very act of looking at something actually changes it. You're not just watching the program. Your attention is literally writing it, moment by moment. And this is where it gets really practical. I mean, have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the exact same type of relationship? Or why some people seem to be lucky with money while you feel unlucky? Well, according to this framework, it's not random at all. Your outer reality is just stabilizing the image of your consistent inner state. The program is just running the code you keep feeding it over and over until you consciously decide to change the input. Now, if you're thinking this is all just woo-woo metaphysics, hang on. Let's look at the hard physics for a second. The fundamental constants of our universe, the numbers that govern everything, from gravity to the energy inside an atom, they are fine-tuned with an impossible, mind-boggling precision. I mean, look at these numbers. If any of these values were off by the tiniest fraction, poof, no life, no us. It's almost as if the parameters for the whole simulation were deliberately set to allow for players like us to even exist. And this is where things take a darker turn. Because if reality really is a program, and let's be honest, most of us are experiencing lives filled with struggle, anxiety, and limitations, you have to ask the question, are we really running our own program, or did someone else install a default operating system on us? Which brings us to this idea of a hijacked operating system. Yeah, the framework we're exploring today describes a kind of parasitic control system, a matrix, if you want to call it that has hijacked our perception. And this program, it isn't designed for our growth. It's designed for our containment. So how does a system like that work? Well, it's not with physical force. It's much more subtle. It works with frequency. This system literally installs these low vibrational emotional states directly into our consciousness. And you have to understand, these aren't just feelings, they're programs. A scarcity program makes you hoard and feel like there's never enough. A fear program makes you compliant. A groupthink program, well, that stops you from ever questioning the code in the first place. And this quote, it just captures the result perfectly. You see people walking around, spaced out, operating as batteries for the matrix, metaphorically, so to speak. Think about that. This control system is powered by what it harvests from us, our time, our focus, our willpower, our pure life force energy. It's a system of energetic parasites that feed on us, leaving people as, well, emptied out husks, just going through the motions with their creative spark completely drained. So here's the absolute crucial takeaway. This matrix, it isn't a place. It's an operating system for perception. It doesn't trap us with walls and bars. It traps us with limiting stories about who we are and what we're capable of. It gets us to agree to our own imprisonment by just getting us to accept its narratives of powerlessness and division. But what if there's a backdoor? An ancient organic intelligence that exists both inside and outside this parasitic code. Okay, let's talk about mycelium, nature's hidden internet. This is what some believe is the physical counterpart to the simulation's hidden architecture. I mean, just look at this. This is incredible. This slide just perfectly illustrates the pattern. You've got the fibrous web of mycelium, the neural pathways in our own brains, and the cosmic web that galaxies form along. It's the same exact design, scaling up from the microscopic to the totally cosmic. It's like a universal blueprint for how things connect. And to bring this back down to Earth for a second, get this, 2,200 acres. That is the size of the largest known living organism on our planet. And no, it's not a blue whale or a giant redwood forest. It's a single honey mushroom mycelial mat in Oregon. We're not just talking about a fungus here, we're talking about a planetary scale intelligence. So this is where the theory gets really interesting. The idea is that fungi aren't just these passive organisms, they're an active part of the planetary consciousness. Mycelium is like the planet's nervous system, an ancient piece of the original uncorrupted OS. It was here long before any parasitic control layer got installed, and because of that, it offers a way to bypass it. So, how do we do that? How do we unlock admin privileges? Well, this brings us to psilocybin, the compound in so-called magic mushrooms. And for the sake of this model, let's not think of it as a drug. Think of it as a temporary security key, a tool that can literally alter your access permissions inside the operating system of reality. Okay, let me break this down from user to admin. On a neurological level, your sense of a separate me, your ego, is tied to a brain circuit called the default mode network. This is the part of you that's always worrying about the future, replaying the past. It's the hardware running your personal little user profile. What psilocybin does is it temporarily quiets this network down, and the result? The programmed self just kind of dissolves. And for a little while, you are logged out of your limited user account. And this is the leap right here. This is where the neurology connects to the metaphysics. You go from being the ego avatar, a programmed character with pretty limited perception, to the expanded self. You stop feeling like just a single user on the network. You actually feel your connection to the entire network. Bam! You've just been granted admin privileges on the simulation. So what do people report when they're in admin mode? Well, a lot of common themes. A profound, undeniable sense of interconnection with all of life. A feeling that you're not separate from the tree, or the sky, or the person next to you. A powerful sense that everything is alive and communicating. That reality itself feels fluid, malleable, like light or energy or code. And maybe the biggest one of all, when you experience yourself as the whole network instead of just one little node, the fear of your individual node shutting down, death, it just dissolves. Okay, so let's put all these pieces together now. This is the grand reveal. This is the unified model, the Mycelium Matrix. Here it is, all laid out. You, your core consciousness, you are the true operator of reality, the user, but your perception has been filtered through the matrix, a parasitic control layer, a hijacked OS that's designed to keep you small and afraid. Underneath all of that is the Mycelium, the planet's hidden physical and energetic network. It's the motherboard. And psilocybin? That acts as the override key, a tool to temporarily bypass that control layer and remember your true nature as the user with full access to the whole system. So, okay, what do we actually do with all this? Because the point here isn't just about seeking out some external tool. The real point is to integrate the lessons of the network itself. It's about learning to think like mycelium. So how do you start operating your own reality? Step 1, audit your energy. You gotta stop feeding the parasites. Look at where you're giving away your time, your focus, your willpower to things that just drain you. That's the first step. Step 2, question the program. What are the limiting stories and fear-based narratives you've just been running on autopilot? Identify them. Step 3, think like a network. Start seeing interconnection everywhere instead of separation. Look for symbiosis, not just competition. And finally, the most important step of all, cultivate your inner state. You have to remember your consciousness is the source code. It is the primary creative force in your reality, period. And I'll leave you with this. This whole concept of a mycelium matrix, it isn't something to be escaped. It's something to be understood. The key is realizing that the prison and the freedom are both programmed from within. So the real question isn't whether or not you're in a simulation. The real question is, are you an operator of your reality, or are you just a character in the program? The choice, as always, is yours.